In Ephesians chapter 4, the Apostle Paul encourages us to walk in a manner worthy of the calling of which we've been called. That calling involves humility. It involves learning how to be gentle in our spirits with those around us. Walking in a manner worthy of Jesus means learning how to be patient with other people. And it involves bearing with one another in love too. You know, all of these things pertain to how Christians should live, not legalistically, but with a life full of grace. Jesus has had grace upon us. And so we too are called by God to live lives that are filled with grace and peace, lives that pour into those around us. Among all the characteristics that Paul encourages Christians to have in Ephesians chapter 4, there is one that he sort of zooms in on. That's this attribute of unity. Oftentimes, I see our music ministry as like an onion. Most of us have unraveled that first layer of the onion of our lives. Like we know each other. You know, most of us pray for each other, and there's some layers that are there, but there's some layers that could go deeper. And that's what I want for each of us. And that's what I believe God wants for our lives too. Just as the Apostle Paul encouraged Christians in Ephesus to bear with one another in love, I want to encourage each of us to do that same thing. I want to encourage each of us to go to that next level of the onion with our choir members and our bandmates, production teammates. That's why I have divided us into life teams. See, this idea of dividing us in order to make us even more unified, it might sound kind of crazy. Why would we divide so that we could grow closer? I can see how that sounds a bit like counterproductive, but actually, if we look in the scriptures, that is exactly how Jesus produced a unified group of believers. There's a time for an inner circle of friends to share the innermost secrets and burdens that a person faces. And there's times for the 11 or 12 guys to sit around in a fishing boat and talk about life. And then there's times for 50 or 60 people to gather in the name of the Lord. And so all of these, like this pandemic stuff that's been going on, when it's all over with, there's going to be a time for us to meet again, like as one choir on Wednesdays. And I feel at the beginning that there's a time for us to pray for during our Wednesday night practices, and then there's a time for us to just sort of share general or more significant prayer requests that need to be lifted up just to sort of start our practice. But I've just been thinking, like, I feel like we should do that, and then we should probably just like get to our music, because there's some time like we need to pray, but at some point we just kind of have to have the time to get to our music. And I feel that that hour on Wednesdays is reserved for our sort of ministry of preparation. And that's a real and significant ministry. We have to have time to really focus in on those songs that we want to present to our people, that we lead each week. But at the same time, there are so many times that I want to share something with you guys just to encourage you. And I want to know more about this prayer request that you mentioned, because I can see like in that glimmer in your eye, just as you're like saying, pray for this person. I can see that you want to share more, and then it's just like not enough time to chat. And that right there is exactly why I want to have life teams. See, life teams is not about like we have first sopranos and then we have second sopranos in terms of singing parts. It's also not like we have really good sopranos and then like the first altos and the second sopranos that are, or the second altos that are maybe not so good. It's not like that at all. No, really, the only reason I want to divide us into like two different groups of altos and two different groups of sopranos is for the sake of the life teams. The life teams will meet in my house about every 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll bring a dish, eat together. We can pray together. We can sing a little bit together, and that'll be helpful too, because we can only like sing one part at a time, because it'll just be all the altos or all the tenors. I think that'll help our musical goals. But really and truly, the life groups, that'll be just a time for 9 or 10 of us to come over to my house, sit in my living room and hang out. And in turn, the unity of our choir, I think, will grow because of our foundations, and the foundations will be strengthened. So I'm really excited about the life teams. Now, as soon as our staff team decides that we're going to be able to have our regular choir practice gatherings again on Wednesdays, I will be starting that back up ASAP. I can't wait to start singing with you guys in a large group. once a week as well. Also, we have some new music to be learning. Woohoo! Our new home base is not Planning Center anymore. No longer are we doing Planning Center, but it's going to be our church website. So this is what you'll do. You'll go to hillcrestbc.net, and at the top, you'll click Ministries. You'll scroll down, and you'll see like kids, youth, whatever, and you'll see worship. You'll click the worship tab. This is our home base for our like sign-up sheets and forms and listening tracks and PDFs. That whatever you may need. That's hillcrestbc.net/worship. If you know how to do the hyperlinks, just /worship. Then you want to click the button that has your life team name on it. By the way, each team has a different team color too. So the button for each team is the team's respective color. So click on the button that says First Altos if you're like a First Alto, and then you want to click. And then you're going to be able to download your music or your listening tracks or your files straight from there. I can still make you a CD, but I feel like most of us probably just want that digital. And so you can do it right there on the church website. Every time that we do something like this, if there's something that's password protected, the password is always going to be the same. Every time we have a password, we want to have that so that not just anyone could go and download the file, because we want it just for our people. So make sure you know the password. The password is and will always be JT loves me. So capital J, capital T, lowercase loves me. It's just a password that we can have to know, just for a little extra security. And that's how you can know how to get your music. JT loves me. Capital J, capital T, lowercase loves me. I hope it blesses you guys. I hope you enjoy worshiping God over the past couple weeks. And I hope using these new songs, just learning them can help you as well to feel encouraged. Max, come here, Max. Lastly, I want to tell you about the events for our life teams. Each life team will have just a few events this summer. Max! Each life team will just have like a cookout at my house, and then just one Zoom meeting for 20 or 30 minutes, just a prayer time, just something quick that we can really sort of hone in, especially for like the introverted people that can just sort of speak up, and in our just 9 or 10 people in our life group. So we'll have that, and then also we'll have like a Wednesday night for each section. So all the altos and all the sopranos and all the tenors and all the basses, a section, just one night for each section to go prayer walking. A special time for us to go prayer walking. And then the other thing is like an outing for just the whole section, where all the altos, all the sopranos, all the tenors and basses together. Just something like a special night that we can go out and just sort of have an outing, a social gathering. So as you see, some of the time we're going to be meeting as full sections, and the other times we'll have just as live teams. But really the live teams is just for like when it comes time to hang out in my house, because I thought that would be really neat to have just 8 or 9, 10 people at a time for that. So that'll be really nice. All of these events are on our choir page, and that's what you're on right now. The events are under the events tab. So when you get finished watching this video, go to the top of the page and look for where it says events. Each life team or section's event, each section's events is going to be on there. So for Alto 2 live team, that means I'm asking you to please come to the event to say Alto 2 and also Alto section event. If you're a tenor, that means I'm asking you to come to the events that say tenor, but also the ones that say tenor bass, right? So if you have any questions at all about that, please call me. I'm going to help you with these things a little more. You'll be getting a paper copy of our newsletter in the mail pretty soon, and that'll be great for you to keep on your fridge as well. It's been great just being able to talk with you, even though it's just me talking to you, maybe to hang out with you for just a few minutes here. And I just pray God's blessings on you over the next week. I hope to see you guys this weekend for the work days. Please come and help us with that. We're going to have a great time serving God and getting everything ready post-pandemic, I guess. And so Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4, or whenever you guys can come, just text me if it's a different time than that. I'd love to have you come and help. There's going to be a lot of stuff we got to get done. So please come this weekend for the work days. If you haven't gone to the website to sign up, that would help me know you're coming. But most importantly, please just come for a couple hours at some point to help us with all that. So make sure you wear your work clothes. and everything like that too. So, all right, God bless you, and you have a great day.